What's going on, y'all? Just got back from some Muay Thai. We were doing some flying elbows. So I'm low-key like kind of close to joining the UFC. UFC 350. You're gonna see me on that card, just you wait. But no, I was doing it and I was sparring this one guy. I can't really punch very well, is what I've realized after doing years and years of Taekwondo. My hands are kind of handicapped. But yeah, some practice, always a good time. You know, it's my routine now to stay healthy. Trying to stay sane and do things while living here on my own. But you know, things are cool, things are fun. Some cool people there. Literally, the coach is an ex-UFC fighter, so it's really cool to be taught by him. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about caffeine, and I was thinking about it during work. You know, I was in a long meeting. It was like an hour long, and I was like, holy fuck, like, I'm gonna go make myself some iced coffee. So I popped on the stove, threw on the ice, threw in the packet, and yeah, shit. Made myself some hot coffee, threw in some spoons of sugar, nothing too crazy though. And yeah. And I was like thinking, I was like, how my relationship with caffeine has like evolved over the years. Because technically it is a drug. It's a stimulant. I think you can OD on it, because I know the daily limit is 400 milligrams, but I literally think you can OD on caffeine. Weed, no, so that's a plus for weed. Dude, hold on, this is so hectic. Oh my god. Somehow I don't hit him, but I get hit. Damn. Anyway, I didn't start drinking caffeine until college. So the first time I ever drank it was during geology of national parks, and my professor was talking about Mount Lassen volcano. And I remember I had a yerb, and I didn't know that it was caffeinated, so I drank it, and I was like, wait, why the fuck am I like low-key tweaking? You know, shaking the knee, looking left, right, and center, and my friend was sitting next to me, and she was like, the fuck is going on with you? And I was like, I don't know, like, I just feel hyped up. She was like, yeah, you're drinking a yerb. And I was like, well, I don't know what the fuck a yerb is, I just thought it was like tea. Oh, damn. I just thought it was like tea. She was like, no, there's like tons of caffeine in that. And I looked at it and I was like, 150, 180, something like that. Nothing too crazy, but like, okay. For my first time, low-key a lot. And ever since then, you know, I would grab a coffee before I go to class, grab a coffee before I go to the gym, grab some pre-workout. So before I was doing anything, I found myself being reliant on like any source of caffeine. So whether it was pre-workout. Dude, where are they coming from? This dude's gonna die. Well, maybe not. I'm gonna die. Damn. Yeah. Go to the gym, pre-workout. Go to the class, coffee, or black tie specifically for Pete's. Try it if you haven't, it's pretty good. But, yeah. And I'm saying this because how dependent is everyone on caffeine? Like, if I go to work, I have a White Monster or Celsius. Boom, 200 milligrams caffeine right there. If I'm at home, I'll have a cup of green tea, 30, 40, 50 milligrams. And then I'll have 2 iced coffees, which is like 120 each. So I'm like becoming close to the 400 like a day mark. And I'm just like, how did I get dependent on this? Like, I don't remember just, you know, drinking this much coffee before ever. And then it got me thinking about like all the companies that get people addicted to caffeine. You know, Japan is a tea drinking country. And why this is important is because Well, you go to Japan, you see all those vending machines everywhere, Boss Coffee, ton of coffee. Well, how the hell did Japan get into a bunch of coffee? Well, corporations. So corporations brought coffee in. They got every single Japanese person addicted to coffee. You know, there are a bunch of mom jokes like "Don't talk to me until I had my coffee." You know, they live, laugh, cut coffee signs in fucking Hobby Lobby. So it's just like a normal part of the everyday routine at this point. And I was like, how did we get so addicted to a drug? Like I said, it's a drug, it's a stimulant. But like, how did we just become so dependent on this? How did I become dependent on this without even noticing? Only over the course of like 3-4 years, realistically, because I didn't drink it in high school. For whatever reason, I was like too judgmental in high school, and I thought if you were drinking a Bang or a Monster Energy, you were like a bad kid. Don't ask me the correlations because there are none. I was just being a weirdo. They breached. I gotta hold down the fuck. I was gonna say I have to hold down the fort. But yeah, but what I notice when I do wake up and I, do my things, I'm like, I don't need it. That's the thing. I don't need it, but boy, does it help. Like, I'll just be sitting there, kind of irritable, and I think I got used to like the hand to mouth fixation thing, like a lot of cigarette smokers do, and like weed people. I should do a video about weed because I used to be addicted to weed, for sure. But no, stopped smoking weed after I stopped smoking weed after I took shrooms. And one of the biggest things for me was like the hand to mouth fixation thing. Like, I don't know why, it's just having something to smoke was like, and blowing out the smoke, it was just kind of relaxing. And that was one of the most difficult parts of quitting smoking. But something that I love about coffee or whatever I'm drinking is like, oh, I can take like a tiny hit. So if I'm at the office and have a Celsius, it's like, oh, one hit. And in my mind, I'm like, this is gonna give me the energy to do whatever. And it's kind of true. After you finish it or after you're drinking it, like, you feel more energized, you feel more awake, even though that's not what it does. It just suppresses the thing that makes you feel tired. I don't know if it suppresses serotonin or whatever, but it suppresses whatever makes you feel tired, but it doesn't make you more awake. Like, the only substitute for a lack of sleep is sleep. You can't sleep like 5 hours a day, drink a cup of coffee and expect to be like at peak performance. It's just not how it works. Okay. But yeah, I look around, all my friends are like, hold on, let me have some coffee first before I go on a long drive. Like, let me get a Celsius. And to me, it was just kind of crazy because if I have a cup of coffee and I do something, it's like I'm low-key unstoppable. At work, I'm banging out those emails, I'm banging out those truckloads. At school, I would take a ton of notes. Like, it does help. But at the same time, now I'm reliant to like getting a cup of coffee from wherever the fuck I'm at. And these days, I went to it was like a Yemeni coffee store, so kind of like specialty coffee. But it was $20 for 2 lattes. And I was like, I went with my friend, because we were trying to go to the aquarium, but that shit was like $50. I was talking about that later. We're talking about that earlier. But I was like, 30 or $20 for 2 coffees, and like, I'm not gonna be a dick, so I left a tip, and it was like $25 for 2 lattes. Like, they were good, but not $25 worth of good. Yeah, I was just shocked. So now I make my own, have a Celsius. It's like $3 per Red Bull in my office, and I low-key think I'm like addicted, but it does help. My girlfriend's always like, you gotta stop drinking that shit. If you're gonna drink caffeine, drink coffee. My mom says the same thing. She's like, you need to stop drinking that Celsius. Like, it's literally poison. And I know people have seen all those TikToks where it's like POV when the 18 Celsius you've had a day finally catches up to you and you just like expire. I know that's coming for me. Like, I know what to expect, but it's just so good, and I just need it to where I can't like put it down. I guess I should try to switch. Hold on, we're in enemy line. Oh, that was depressing. Um, but yeah, everyone's like, stop drinking it. Red Bulls can't be good for you. And Celsius, as sweet as it is and as good as it tastes, has 0 calories. Like, so, whoa. Someone explain to me how that works. Like, I look at it all the time. I put it in ChatGPT, like, this can't be good for you. But I still do it. I look around the office. Coworker has a Monster. Other coworker has Dunkin' Donuts. 5,000 calorie drink. You already know there's like 18 spoonfuls of sugar in that one. Other coworker has Starbucks. So, caffeine in different forms. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, everything I do on the day-to-day, low-key, I be using caffeine to do it. I just thought it was interesting. You know, people, Gen Z, like, you know, they love going to their cafes, they love going to their matcha shops. Matcha's caffeine, like real matcha, like filtered good matcha, has a ton of caffeine. So I don't know. You know, the Japan example, like, I don't know what company it was, but they got the whole population addicted to caffeine. And the whole world drinks it these days. So that market, I don't know the economics of that. I should figure that out, try my own coffee business. But I just thought it was an interesting thing. You know, thought I'd hop on a little bit after Muay Thai class. And then get fucking destroyed in game. But yeah, thanks for listening. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Good luck with all the endeavors, and I'll see you later.